Angel Studios continues winning, and this time they just beat out Disney in pre-sale tickets for their new movie, King of Kings. It has gotten more in pre-sales than Snow White by multiple millions. Either, according to Deadline, $14.6 million in pre-sales, or if you look at a new report from today, $17 million worth of pre-sold tickets compared to only $5 million that were sold for Snow White. And everyone remembers looking at the theaters before Snow White's release date, seeing completely empty seating charts.
Correct.
Nobody was buying pre-sale tickets, and even after the movie came out, is it still showing?
Yes.
By the way?
It is.
Even after it came out, I haven't been seeing packed theaters, nothing like what you've seen in the Minecraft theaters,
Correct.
certainly. But this is a huge win. So we talked about King of Kings back when the trailer came out, I believe.
We did.
And
that
the
video
concept
actually did
for the
really
movie.
well.
It's basically Charles Dickens is your tour guide through the life of Jesus Christ. And it is a kid's movie, so...
Starring Mark Hamill.
The cast for this is crazy, I should say. Like, we went over the casting, and we were shocked that this was possible, but it made sense once we learned that Angel Studios acquired this after, I believe, a Korean studio produced it originally.
Yes.
They have Pierce Brosnan. Oscar Isaac is voicing Jesus.
Pierce Brosnan is like in the middle of this like crazy career. I mean, his career never stopped, but he's in this career resurgence right now because he's in Mobland right now.
He voiced Pontius Pilate. Oscar Isaac, I actually didn't know, is a Christian. And here's a fun fact. He was involved in a Christian ska band called the Blinking Underdogs in the late 90s and early 2000s. Although the band did not exactly take off.
That's
that was
fine.
Part of his history. They also have Uma Thurman and Kenneth Branagh and Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is actually the voice actor for King Herod. And if you know about Mark Hamill's family life, specifically him calling for the abortion of his grandchild.
Allegedly.
Yes. That tracks.
Okay.
King Herod, yeah, that tracks for him. He was method acting. It's fine. Some people actually were offended by the mainstream names that are attached to this project.
It's a lot of them.
Knowing that it's a faith-based film.
Sir Benjamin Kingsley, Forrest Whitaker, a lot of names that you've heard of before.
Yeah. But I saw these tweets from Matthew Marsden. He claims this was a big mistake for Angel Studios to affiliate themselves with a project with this many mainstream names, especially Mark Hamill's. He said, "I'm sure Mark Hamill is happy that he's in the cast. The right in entertainment sucks." One person replied to him saying they hired Mark Hamill to voice King Herod. Seems fitting. And he responded, "This is exactly the problem with the right and why I say over and over that you need to back your own. The left cancels conservatives for their political or religious views. The right says, hey, he might hate you, but he's a great actor, so I'll go watch the movie."
It's literally me.
Unreal.
It's literally me.
Leftist actors, F Trump and MAGA. Hollywood, we still hire you. Conservative movies, we still hire you. Right-wing actors, I love God, leave me alone. Hollywood, we aren't hiring that guy ever again. Conservative studios, he hasn't worked in a while, hire the lefty instead. He thinks this is backstabbing behavior.
Irishimutaru says, did Brett say Sir Forrest Whitaker? No, I said Sir Benjamin Kingsley and Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, Matthew Marsden he's a great actor. Very, very accomplished on TV. He has like one of my favorite episodes of NCIS where he plays a soldier who's been poisoned with like, he's got like radiation poisoning and he's dying slowly throughout the episode. He also is Reacher's dad on the show Reacher.
Was he only in the first season? Or?
I don't remember. I think he's in the first 2 seasons. I don't remember if there's any flashbacks in season 3, but there might have been. It's been like they released week to week and it's been so long since the early episodes of season 3 that I don't remember if there were any flashbacks in season 3.
So he never had to film anything with Alan Richson.
Oh, I don't think so.
He was in flashback scenes. So I imagine they wouldn't get along too well because Alan Richson is Mr. Woke guy. But
even though he is Christian.
I disagree with his point of view here. Because first off, I think he doesn't realize Angel Studios acquired the distribution rights. He might think that Angel Studios created the whole thing.
But that's not what happened.
They didn't have control over who was in the cast by the time it was
They
done.
would have never gotten all these actors. They wouldn't have been able to afford all these actors.
That is telling enough in and of itself, right? These actors wouldn't have affiliated themselves with an Angel Studios project.
This happened with
had
Letitia
it been
Wright.
Angel Studios from the start.
This happened with Letitia Wright with that movie that she made, and she said, look, they acquired the rights after the fact.
Right.
And then they were like, she had to like answer questions about it.
Right. She had to defend herself because people were saying she was affiliating herself with like religious extremists or something. And she probably wouldn't have signed on to do the movie if it were an Angel Studios project from the get-go. So I think they're smart to be doing that. And it looks like it's going to be a huge success for them in the box office.
Sound of Hope. It was the Sound of Hope. That was the one with Letitia Wright. It was like Sound of Hope creators apologize for missteps with Letitia Wright and defend the Daily Wire. Because I think the Daily Wire was like a co-producer.
Yeah,
on that one,
co-distributor.
Do you remember that? She didn't have to answer for Angel Studios. She had to answer for Daily Wire.
Yeah, and then Sound of Freedom, of course, was Angel Studios, but that was also not Angel Studios from the beginning. That was 20th Century Fox, right?
I love this. It was Disney initially.
No?
It was Disney initially.
It wasn't Fox? Okay.
Yes, it was 20th Century Fox, and then Disney acquired it through their purchase of 20th Century Fox, and then we're going to bury the movie. Not my decision. Sound of Hope's executive producer, Letitia Wright, distances herself from the picture's right-wing promoter, Daily Wire, and distributor, Angel Studios.
And like it or not, more people are going to see something that has mainstream names that they are familiar with on the cover.
Yeah.
You know? So if that is a way that we can get more people to pay attention to these movies that are at least trying to be wholesome and not disgusting for children, then more power to them. I mean,
wait, you read
if anything, it puts the actors in an awkward position, and they're going to have to either answer for it or not.
Yeah, and that's always annoying, too, because it's like, if you're an actor, one thing they will all tell you is, like, you don't just like only a select few actors ever have the ability to just turn down jobs. Like once you reach a certain level of fame, sure, but most of them, they're going to do whatever work they can get. And it's not going to matter what studio is offering it. And then they're in this industry where they're like, oh, you want a job? Well, you can't take that job or you're never going to get another job afterwards. And that's like putting them in a really, really awkward position.
Well, as far as I can tell, like Oscar Isaac is not going to be blacklisted in Hollywood because he voiced Jesus in a kid's movie. Okay.
Also, there were some funny reviews for this, you said? Like there was one that said it's too on the nose.
I was looking through some of the reviews. This has a 62% so far from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 97% from the audience. There is no surprise there. But the critics were not easy on them. One of them said it's a 100-minute Sunday school lesson.
It's literally a movie about Jesus.
Variety says that this is visually generic and heavy-handed Christian, and they also say it falls into the faith-based movie trap of putting message before artistry and entertainment value.
Look, that's a perfectly valid critique, and it could happen there. I feel like it's slightly less applicable when it's an actual story about Jesus and not like a story about a family that has religious beliefs or something like that. Like when you're telling another story that has faith as a backdrop, it's one thing.
Yeah.
But when you're telling an actual story
it's literally about
the faith,
Jesus,
like
it's, oh, we're being too heavy-handed with the Christian themes in a movie about Jesus.
What is that?
Okay.
What is that Christian movie network? There's like it's like Up Family. It's like a faith-based family streaming service. And
I know,
like,
Great American Family.
It's like, well, it's but this one is like, I mean, but even that's like just kind of Hallmark. But there's like Up Family. It's like a streaming service that's like faith-based. It's like when, like to Olivia's, like when we have kids, we're gonna have to get that so that we can put something on and know for sure that.
Up Family.
Like I don't want to be the person who has to ask weird, who has to answer weird questions, like the kids who turn on Disney Plus and they're like, "What's dying for sex?"
No, just show your kids only old stuff.
Yeah.
The best part, they won't even know that what you're showing them is old.
I'm going to read this super chat right now just because I don't know if he's going to be here for the rest of the show. JB Spooky Review says, thanks again for the shout out, brother. I'm just glad you're enjoying the videos. No, thank you. And keep making them. I'm coming up on the end of season 3 of the reviews, and I believe it's only up through I've watched the Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man one, which is in season 4. So then I'm going to be out. I'm going to have made my way through them all, and I already watched the 3.5-hour Buffy retrospective.
Lots of love in the chat
today. It is, lots of it. So thank you. Keep up the good work. But yeah, I think we'd get the faith-based streaming service when we have kids. So that way it's like, sure, most of the time I will curate and just show the movies. But if you want to have at least one where you can hand them a remote and be like, you can watch something on this streaming service and hope to God that it's not something horrible.
Well, I've already decided what my kids are going to watch in the future. It's going to include Mouse and Mole, Kipper the dog.
Okay.
Angelina Ballerina.
Okay.
SpongeBob. And
Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Those, of course, yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Maybe the original, the old Disney princess movies. Those are good.
Yeah.
But yeah, only old stuff.
But even then, you're gonna have to have physical media, or you're gonna have to go into the streaming service and be like, here, and you put it on. Take the remote from them.
By then, the whole streaming service ecosystem is going to be so complicated anyway. I'd rather use a DVD player.
Yeah.
Another critic from the New York Times said of King of Kings, "It's just the same story. Every beat expected, every moment predetermined." Lady, it's based on a book called the Bible. It's been around for a while now.
Yeah, it's been there.
So you were disappointed that there weren't any big twists?
They were hoping for an Avengers style team up at the end.
You were waiting for the cameo and the twist and the post credit scene. I'm not sure what you're talking about, lady.
Who would be the Nick Fury of the Bible? Is there a Nick Fury in the Bible?
I don't know. I would know that if I were.
Who comes in and assembles all of them together? Who assembled all the apostles?
Assembles.
Yeah,
that's Jesus. He assembled them.
He's the Nick Fury of the Bible.
Yeah, I guess.
Then I guess we're gonna have to get Samuel L. Jackson to play Jesus next. And I did post this the other day. Like I said, this picture goes super hard. Looks like an album cover. It's like a photo of a photo. Mm-hmm. But, Jesus looks like he's about to drop a beat.
Yeah, they're in the studio. They're in the stew.
Right.
The stills from King of Kings look good too, and the trailer, when we watched it, we found it very evocative. I don't know if they just put together all the best parts and it's actually dreadfully boring, but
apostles assemble, they say.
I think it's a lot of adults who are mad that they didn't enjoy a movie made for kids, and that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
They're just saying that, parents wouldn't enjoy this because it's too simplistic.
Okay, so here's the thing,
then
guys.
Watch Passion of the Christ. I don't know what to tell you.
If you're looking for something to be white-pilled about, you're in the middle of a bit of a religious revolution when it comes to Hollywood and cinema. Right now, you've got The Chosen, The Last Supper, parts 1, 2, and 3, all of which are doing numbers at theaters. You've got this movie coming out. Mel Gibson is working on Passion of the Christ 2, Electric Boogaloo. I think that starts filming this summer. It's not actually called Electric Boogaloo. Don't worry, guys.
But we wish.
But the point is there is an increased amount of energy and time being put into faith-based entertainment in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Take of that what you will. They're not always going to get it right. In fact, I would probably argue that more often than not, they're going to get it wrong. But if you don't want to risk it and you don't want to risk these people making your entertainment, then there is something to be said about the parallel economy and going out and doing it yourself. It's just that's a huge endeavor and it costs a lot of money to get stuff like that done. So be sure to check it out. I know that Shane H. Wilder in the chat has really enjoyed House of David.
Yeah,
So
we've heard good things.
There's all sorts of stuff going on.
It's kind of a gold rush.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.